So come down to lie on your back to begin with. And once you're on your back, place your feet on the floor, flat on the floor, so your knees are pointing up to the ceiling. And notice where you've positioned your feet. Are they quite far away from your knees? In that case, bring them a bit closer. But if your heels are all the way up by your hips, then move them a bit further back. So you don't want to be putting too much effort into this. We're going to start with something called Samariti, which is a type of breathing that helps balance you. So before we do, just check that you haven't got your shoulders hiked up to your ears. Turn your arms so the palms face up to the ceiling. Then take your palms onto your torso and rest your thumbs on the lower ribs and spread the fingers and thumbs apart. You're not resting the hands or fingers on top of each other, you've got them apart. So as you breathe through the nose, you can feel your abdomen rising and falling. So that's all we're doing to begin with, is noticing the breath. The lips are gently closed, breathing through the nose. So even if you know Ujjayi breath, Ujjayi breathing, let your breath be natural for the first few moments. Let the body settle. Let your awareness settle on the body, on the breath. Okay. So I'm going to invite you now to control your breath more by making the inhale and the exhale the same length. So you might have noticed already in your breathing that the exhale might be longer than the inhale, which is more common. There's no right or wrong. And our breathing changes throughout the day and according to our mind state and our emotional state as well. So this breathing called Samariti helps you to balance out the inhale and the exhale to be the same length, which then helps our mind to feel more balanced as well. So take a long inhale breath, filling your abdomen, your rib cage, and then exhale out through the nose. So we're doing this through the nose. If you know Ujjayi breathing and you feel comfortable with Ujjayi, you can use your Ujjayi breath to practice this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, forget about that. Just concentrate on breathing through your nose, both nostrils if you can. So let's take an inhale together and I'm going to count to 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, before. Allowing the breath now to return to its natural rhythm, releasing the control. Placing the backs of your hands onto the ground as they were. Then, keeping the left foot where it is, bring your right knee in towards your chest, interlace your fingers and place the hands on top of your right shin and extend the left leg down onto the ground. So even as you're pulling the right thigh in, see if you can send the right sitting bone towards the top of your mat. Then place the right foot down. Place the left foot next to the right foot and bring the left knee in. Interlace your fingers the opposite way to before and place the hands around the shin, extending your right leg out onto the ground. And again, even though you're bringing your thigh in towards your body, see if you can send your left sitting bone towards the top of the mat. Place the left foot down. Place the right foot next to the left foot. Then take your feet as wide as the mat so you can feel the edges of the mat underneath each foot. Take your hands above your head, placing one palm on top of the other. And then we're going to twist by taking the knees over to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale, knees to the center. Exhale, right, gaze to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees left, gaze right. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees right, gaze goes left. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. One more round. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. Bring both knees in towards you. Take your hands around each shin. And gradually, gently rock side to side, giving your lower back a little soft massage. And then roll over onto one side of your body. Bring your top arm over and use that hand to press yourself up to sit. Turn around to face the front of your mat. Coming onto your hands and knees, we're going to do a few cat-cows now to warm up the spine. So place your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, feet behind the knees. Start to lift the belly button, dropping the chin, looking towards the back of your mat, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, tailbone to hips, looking forward, keeping the shoulder blades back, away from the ears. Exhale to round. Squeeze the inner thighs in. Inhale, shins press down, looking forwards. Exhale, press the hands down, belly button lifts, rounding the back. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, come to child's pose. Bring your big toes together. Extend your hands forward and let the forehead come down to the floor. Lift the elbows off the floor. Breathing here. Okay, come forward onto hands and knees briefly. Tuck your toes under. Lift the belly to downward dog. So your feet are hip distance apart or even wider if you want to be even more comfortable. Let's pedal out the feet. So if you haven't practiced yoga in a long time, welcome back to your body. You might have been doing other forms of exercise, or you might not have been doing much at all. So be kind to yourself mentally, as in don't judge yourself for that. Let yourself be where you are. Start from where you are today. And then we're going to walk the feet forwards up towards the top of your mat. Bend your knees once you're there with your feet hip distance. Let the head completely relax so the back of the neck is soft. Bend your knees deeply. Let the back round as you roll up through the spine, coming to stand. Rolling the shoulders back at the top. Okay, lovely everyone. So I can't see you, but I feel your presence. So we're going to start now, moving a bit more dynamically. We're going to start with some Lunge Sun Salutations, and then we're going to do Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutations A. If you don't know what Surya Namaskar means, it's the Sun Salutations. So with the first Lunge Salutation, starting with the feet hip distance apart. And depending on the space you've got, as you lift your arms, you can either bring the prayer hands forward and lift up, or you can take them out to the side. I'll probably do a mixture of both. So you decide what feels good for your shoulders and what space you're working with as well. So coming to mountain pose with the feet hip distance in this variation. Feeling the ground beneath your feet. Being aware of your spine, your central axis. Being aware of the shoulders, collarbones, shoulder blades, spine, the pelvis, arms and hands, thigh bones, shins, feet, whole of your body here, present. Bring the palms together, resting the thumbs at the center of your chest. Take a moment here to bring your awareness into the heart center, softening around the heart. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, lift the belly in as you fold down to Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the chest forwards. Exhale, step your left foot back. Take the knee to the floor. Rise up, Anjaneyasana, your low lunge, inhaling as you do. Exhale, step back to a plank. Inhale, take your knees to the floor. Exhale, lower just your chest, your chest and chin. I was trying to make up a word then. Inhale, slide the chest forward and up. Pelvis comes to the floor. Come to a baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Lift the knees, lift the belly. Inhale, left leg extends up, one-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee forward, shoulders above the hands. Step the left foot between the hands, lower the back knee down. Inhale, rise up to a lunge. Gaze up. Exhale, step to the top, folding over both legs. Inhale, rising up, straight legs. Not completely straight knees though. Exhale, float all the way down again. Exhale, keep your core engaged, inner thighs engaged. Inhale, extend your halfway lift. This time, exhale, step your right foot back, knee comes down. Inhale, rise up to Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Exhale to plank, stepping back. Inhale, lower both knees. Exhale, lower the chest and chin. Then inhale, lower the pelvis, chest slides through and up, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, roll forward, knee to chest, step the foot through, back knee down. Inhale, up to your lunge. Exhale, step forward, folding over your legs. Inhale, rise up with a long back, reach up, gaze up. This time, exhale, hands to heart. Inhale again, reach the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, knee comes down. So we're going to repeat exactly the same thing. Inhale, rise up to lunge. Exhale to plank. Inhale, knees come down. Exhale, lower chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward to cobra. Come up higher if you are able and comfortable. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot between the hands. Back knee down. Inhale, rise up to your lunge. Exhale, fold forwards. Stepping up. Inhale, rise up all the way. Exhale, fold all the way back down again, controlling your breath. Inhale, one breath. Exhale, step the left foot back, knee comes down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to plank. I think I've done the same leg twice, but it's okay. Inhale, knees come down. Exhale, lower chest and chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, foot between the hands and back knee down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, step to the top and fold over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way to stand, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, we're going to move on. So, Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Release the arms. Bring your feet together, big toes together, heels together. So your classic Tadasana posture, mountain posture. Find your breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. Gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, dive down into your Uttanasana, your forward bend. Inhale, extend the chest forwards. Exhale, step back to a plank. Hold it in your plank. Inhale, shift forward onto the tips of your toes. And either take your knees to the floor or come down through Chaturanga. We're all going to just come down to elbow height, if you can. Otherwise, come down as we were before. Inhale, lift, upward dog, straightening the arms, lifting the thighs and knees off the floor. Or you can stick with cobra like we were doing before. Tuck the toes, come to the knees and then lift to downward dog. Staying in downward dog. So, if you are not as strong in your upper body as you want to be, or that these movements are very new to you, stick with what we were just doing, coming down to your knees, chest and chin, coming up to cobra. For those of you that have developed a bit more upper body strength and you're practicing Chaturanga, you can either take the knees to the floor or full Chaturanga, coming into upward dog. So, from downward dog, inhale, lift the heels and bend the knees. Look between the hands, walk, step or jump between the hands, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Coming up to stand, squeeze the inner thighs as you come up. Reach all the way up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gaze up. Follow the thumbs with your gaze as you fold. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, jump back to Chaturanga and continue through your Vinyasa if you know how and want to, or join me and step back to plank. You may wish to lower your knees to the floor. Then you can take knees, chest and chin, or half Chaturanga or full Chaturanga into upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Pausing here to breathe, to find steadiness, to feel that connection with the floor through all 4 points of contact. 2 hands, 2 feet, in case you didn't know what I meant. So really connect with that. Feel how the hands and the feet are your base. Your foundation here. And then bend the knees, look between the hands. As you exhale, walk, step or hop between the hands. Feet together at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Squeeze the inner legs together as you rise up with a long back. Reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Pausing here, releasing the arms down. So we're going to move on to our main portion now. So reach the arms up. Exhale, fold back down to Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping your left foot back to Virabhadrasana 2, that's Warrior 2. Front heel in line with the back arch. Rising up on an inhale. Soften the shoulders. Check, for those of you that are newer to yoga or haven't done it in a long time, check you haven't got your back toes pointing in the opposite direction. You want your toes to be pointing to either towards the long edge of the mat or in a little bit. Let the front hip drop. Gaze towards the front hand. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend the leg. Trikonasana, extended side angle. Take the forearm onto the thigh and reach the left arm over. Even if you can take your hand to the floor, let's instead feel the lengthening along the left side, which often you miss out on when you take your hand to the floor straight away. It goes into the hips much more. You might be feeling this in the hips already. Keep the right hip coming in and under. You're not poking it out behind you. Inhale, come back up, straighten your right leg, your front leg. Walk the back heel in a little bit because we're coming to Trikonasana. You might have gone too long. Reach forwards. Tuck the tailbone under if you're someone who tends to flare your ribs like I am. And slide your hand out onto your shin. Or if you have a Trikonasana that takes you deeper and you feel comfortable and your breath is steady, then you go to the floor or to a block. Press down through both feet, come all the way up. Bend your front knee again. You've got an option here, either coming into Utthita Padasana again, your side angle, or coming into a balance, your Ardha Chandrasana. So option 1 here, like we were just doing, or Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon balance. Take your left hand to your left hip. Hop the back foot in a little bit. Take the right hand to the floor. Bend the front knee, shift into the front leg, and lift the left. Once you feel steady there, then you can open the left hip out a little bit more, perhaps reaching the left arm up. If you feel very comfortable here, and you even want to take it a bit further, it's normally for people who feel very comfortable in back bends. Bend the right knee so the supporting leg slightly, bend the left knee, take the hand around the left ankle or foot into Chapasana. This tends to be for people who've got very open hamstrings and confident with back bends because there's a lot going on. So stay with where you are, wherever you've chosen to be. If you're in Chapasana, release the top foot. If you're in Ardha Chandrasana, take the left foot down, and we're all going to come back into Warrior 2 with control. Straighten your front leg. Turn your toes towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Palms together, gaze up. Press your hips forward, lift the chest, tiny back bend. And exhale forward all the way down to a wide leg forward bend. And then take the palms of your hands back, perhaps lining them up in between the feet. If you can't get your hands to the floor, you can place them on blocks if you have them. Or you can just keep the hands further forward. Be where you are. Find your breath. Big toes are in line with your inner heels. Inhale, extend the spine forwards. Walk the hands forwards. Exhale, bend your right leg. pivot around, face the front of your mat, and take the back knee to the floor. Bring your right knee on top of your ankle so you're in a lunge. And then you want to actually feel like your left hip is moving forward and your right hip is moving back. Press down through the front heel and rise up to a lunge. And what we're going to do is take the hands behind us, extending the arms. We're not clasping. Instead, feel the engagement of your shoulder blades moving towards each other while you're in this lunge. Take your gaze up, pull the lower belly back. And then take your hands to the floor, tuck your back foot under and step back to a plank with your option to take the knees to the floor if you would like. If you're in plank, imagine that I was there with you. What would I see in your body that you might be cheating with? So you might be lifting your hips too high. You might be in like half plank, half downward dog. If you are the opposite, you could be dropping your hips and going to a back bend, which is hard work. I just tried it, and that's hard in this position. And then we're all going to lift up to a downward dog. If you need to, take your knees to the floor and take a pause in child's pose. Or you can stay in downward dog, of course, depending on your energy today and what's going on in your back, shoulders and neck, or anywhere else. If you're in child's pose, come up to downward dog. Bend your knees, look between the hands, walk, step or hop between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. If you feel like adding a vinyasa at any time, chaturanga, upward dog, or coming to the floor, belly to floor into cobra, please add one. We could have done one just then, so just add them in if you've got that energy and knowledge of how to. Let's continue. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Warrior two on the other side now. I'm going to turn around so you can see me, so I haven't got my back to you. Left foot is forward. Right foot is back. Let that front hip drop a bit lower if you can. Straightening that back leg. We're not letting that back knee bend in. Press the outer edge of your back foot into the floor. Soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend. Utthita Trikonasana, your extended side angle. Inhale, come all the way up, straighten your front leg. Perhaps walk the back foot in a little bit for Trikonasana. Send the hips back, reach forward, keeping long underneath the left torso for Trikonasana. Inhale, rising up. So same options as we did for the other side. You can either come into Parsvakonasana or come into Ardha Chandrasana. So stay in your Parsvakonasana here. Do the second time on this leg, or take your right hand to the hip, hop the back foot in a little bit, making your stance shorter. Left hand to the floor. Shift your body weight into the left leg. Straighten that left leg, turn your right hip out. Extend the right arm up if you're balanced. And if you did on the other side, bending the supporting leg, taking your hand around the right foot or ankle for Chapasana. Control the breath, steady the mind. If you have your hand around the foot, release it. In Ardha Chandrasana, with control, and those of you in Parsvakonasana with control, come back up to Warrior Two. Inhale, straighten both legs. Turn your toes towards the long edge. Bring your hands up. This time, as you exhale, bring that hands to interlace behind the back. Inhale, extend and lift the chest. Exhale, folding down. Lifting the arms up, away from the back. Let your body weight move forwards into the balls of the feet rather than the heels, especially if you tend to be hypermobile in your knees. You might even need to have a tiny bend in the knees if you're hypermobile in the knees. Okay, release the hands to the floor. Bend your left leg. Pivot around, face the front of your mat, taking the back knee down. Come up to a lunge. Extend the arms back behind you without clasping the hands. Press the right hip forward, left hip moves back. Take your gaze upwards slightly, smoothing out the breath. And take both hands to the floor. Step back to a plank. Option to take the knees down. Option to press the heels back, lift the thighs. Hold it here. And on your next exhale, lift the belly, lift the knees to downward dog. Option here is to take the knees to the floor for child's pose, stay in downward dog, or float forward through your chaturanga into upward dog, into downward dog. And in downward dog, lift the heels, bend the knees, look between the hands. At the end of your next exhale, walk, step, or float your feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way up to stand. Reach the hands down to the heart. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen the chest. Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Step the left foot back, front foot forwards, rising up, except instead of taking the arms up, we're going to take them back behind us and extend the arms again. This time, interlacing the fingers. So square your hips. You don't want this back hip turning out. Both hip points facing forward towards the top of your mat. See if you can sink a bit deeper in that front hip. Press the back shin back. Gaze up. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Take the hands to the hips. Hop the back foot in a few inches. Inhale, lift the chest. We're going to fold forward over that front leg, but come down halfway first of all, just to exhale. Inhale, extend the crown forwards. Right hip moves back. And exhale to fold. You can either keep your hands where they are or take your hands to the floor or on blocks. Lovely, everyone. Now bend the front knee. Walk the left foot back a bit and take the knee to the floor on that back leg. Walk your right foot out to the right, quite wide, and bring your right hand inside the right foot. So you've got, as if you're doing a plank. You're not going to do a plank, don't worry. Your shoulders are underneath your shoulders, on top of your wrists. So this is lizard. We're not going deep into it. This isn't a hip opening class. So let's stay with, unless you are itching to take your forearms to the floor, you can, of course. But don't feel that you have to. Sometimes it's nice to stay in the alignment of this foundation. Keep your right knee hugging into the right arm. Now we are going to step back to a plank. Step the right foot back. Side plank actually. So roll onto the outside edge of your right foot. Take the left hand to the left hip. Option 1 is place your left foot in front of your body. And option 2 is to take your left foot on top of your right foot. If you're very comfortable with your left foot on top of your right foot, lift your top arm. And you might even want to take your left foot, tap your big toe behind you, start lifting the pelvis and come into more of a wild thing posture. Come back to a side plank, and everyone turn to regular plank, both hands to the floor. Lift the hips to downward dog, and either rest in child's pose here, stay in downward dog, or come forward to a plank, lowering either towards the floor and then into cobra, or come through chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. If you're resting in child's pose, you're welcome to come back up to downward dog now. Lift the heels, bend the knees, walk, step or jump between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. Squeeze the inner legs together as you rise up. It protects your back a lot more. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Repeating on the other side, right foot steps back for warrior 1. Virabhadrasana. Uno. Interlace the fingers behind your back. So your back toes, unlike warrior 2, with warrior 1, you actually really square the hips off and your back toes are pointing more or less towards the top right corner of your mat. Inhale, straighten your front leg, hands to hips. Step the back foot in a little, square your hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, pelvis moves back, come down halfway. Inhale here. And exhale deeper if you are comfortable in the body. Taking your hands to the floor if you did on the previous side. If you've got really open hamstrings, make sure you're not dumping into the joints. So engage your quadricep muscles, that's your thighs. Engage your feet. Bend your front knee, walk the right foot back, take the knee down. Step the left foot out to the left, bringing your left hand inside your left foot for lizard. So at lizard, you can walk your back knee back quite a lot, so you can really let your hips sink. Okay, now tuck the back foot under, step back to plank, side plank on the left this time, rolling over onto the left hand, outside edge of your left foot, right hand to right hip. So option 1 is the right foot in front of the body, knees turn, toes turned out, right foot on top of the left foot, arm up, maybe gaze up. And then option 3, if you would like, is to tap the big toe behind you, lift the pelvis, keep pressing strongly into that left hand. Right arm sweeps over your ear for wild thing. And then come back, everyone, to regular plank, both hands on the floor. Option 2, take child's pose, downward dog, or come through chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. Or take your belly to the floor, then lift into Cobra, and then lift into Downward Dog. Arriving back in either Child's Pose or Downward Dog. Find your breath here if you've lost connection with your breathing. Take that time to consider how equal your inhales and exhales are. Let's all come to Child's Pose. If you're in Downward Dog, we're going to take a balance pose and then come to the floor. So let's just gather ourselves here. First of all, find the breath. Okay, and then come back to Downward Dog if you're in Child's Pose. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, walk, step or hop between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rising up all the way. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Releasing the arms down for Tadasana. Feel the feet on the ground, all 10 toes, heels, outer heel, inner heel, little toes, big toes. Come back into your center, be aware of your spine, the descending force, so the downward force into the center of the earth, and the ascension, the rising up through the spine, through the crown, upwards. Coming back into the center of that two-way direction. So being in the middle, your very center. So we're going to take a balance here. First off, we're going to give you options. So if you feel wobbly with balancing, that's fine. If you're on carpet, it can be harder. I'm on carpet, so balancing on carpet is a lot harder. So bring your hands to hips. Take your weight into your right leg. Lift the left foot up towards you, and take your left foot back behind you. So you've got your hand around the foot. Some of you might be able to take the hand around the ankle. Press the knee back. Hip comes forward. So press the hip forward, knee goes back, reach the right arm up, and that's all we're doing. Make sure your foot isn't floppy, so activate that left foot. Activate the thigh muscles on that right leg, the standing leg, pressing down through the mound of your right big toe. And then release. Let's do the same on the other side. Left foot on the floor, right foot behind you. So taking either the ankle or the foot from the outside, reach the left arm up. Press down through the left foot, left thigh activates, right hip presses forward, knee goes back. And then release. So you can either do that again, or you can come into dancer's pose, Natarajasana. So take your balance into your right leg, taking your hand around the left foot or ankle, reach the right arm up. So staying here, or if you're coming into Natarajasana, the trick is to keep pressing your left foot into the hand, and then your leg starts to lift. And then the more you do that, the more the chest starts to move forward. But think, rather than down, think of up, lifting up through the chest, lifting up through the upper back. Come back to stand, reach both arms up, releasing the foot. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the arms. Take the other side. Left arm up. So we're either staying here or take that action, which you can also do even if you're staying here. Press the foot into the hand. Press it so much that your leg starts to lift. And then the balance starts to happen. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale, come up, release, Reach up through both hands. Release the foot. Exhale, hands to heart. And then release the arms. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend the knees. Sit down onto the floor. And extend your left leg out in front of you. Placing the right foot to the outside of the left leg. We're going to take a twist, Matsindrasana. If you know that you prefer to bend that left leg, then please do. You can bring the heel in next to the right hip. Inhale, lift up through the left arm, twist to your right, and bring the elbow to the outside of the knee, turning your torso to the right. Your head comes last. Keep pressing the right foot to the floor. Cooling down now, letting go of the fiery effort of the standing postures. Coming into the groundedness of being seated, closer to the earth. And then turning to the center, a little counter twist to your left. Come back to the center. Extend your right leg. Bring your left foot in and then take it over the right leg. Remembering to, if you did it on the other side, bring that heel in next to the hip. Or you can keep the leg straight. Hugging the knee in, reach the right arm up. Exhaling to turn to your left. Hooking the elbow around the knee if you can. Inhale, extension through the spine. And then relax as you exhale to turn. Inhale, extension. So think of lifting in those upwards and then downwards in your spine. And as you exhale, relax the belly and turn. This gets more into the smaller muscles of your spine. But we don't want any force in the neck. So if you notice you're putting strain into your neck, back off a little bit with the neck. Just turn it back, turn the chin to the right slightly. Then come back to the center, counter twist to your right, back to the center. We're going to take a nice wide forward bend now, Upavista Konasana. So take your feet wide. If you're really tight in the hamstrings and back, I would encourage you to sit higher up on something like a nice thick blanket or a block or two. So let the what tends to happen here, depending on your hips, you'll either let the feet roll out or they'll roll in. You want your big toes pointing up. Engage your quadricep muscles. Inhale, lift tall. Walk your hands forward until your body starts, if your back starts to round, just stay where you are and think of lifting the chest and lengthening through the entire length of your spine rather than trying to get to the floor. If you're able to and comfortable to, you can start to come down a bit further. Perhaps you can get to your forearms. You might be able to take yourself deeper, so be mindful of your joints. Use the breath to guide you. We don't need to be in pain. There's no need for pain. Sometimes we're stiff, of course, and it's breathing through that stiffness. But we never want pain. So letting the forward bends quieten your mind, moving into a more introspective, cooling energy. Come all the way back up. Bring your legs together. Pull the right heel in towards you, in line with the hip. And then let the knee come out to the side for Janushavasana. Place the heel inside the left inner thigh as high up as you can. Reach up through the right arm, press the right knee to the floor and reach forward. And if you can, take the hand around the outside of your left foot and cross the other arm over the top. If you can't quite get there, just keep your hands on the floor, either side of your leg. Inhale to extend both sides of your torso. Exhale to soften. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come all the way up. Extend your right leg out. Bring your left heel in. Then let the knee come out and bring the heel as high up the inner thigh as possible. You're squaring the hips. Reach up through the left arm. Extend forward, hand to the outside of your right foot. Other arm over. And exhale to fold here. Remember, if you're not there, don't worry. It's not a problem. All you need to do is bring your hands to the floor either side of your leg. You might be still sitting up quite high. That's fine. We've all got different things that we're working with in our bodies. You might be very strong but tight in your body, so you'll be working more on mobility and flexibility, perhaps to balance out the strength. You could be quite bendy but not have much muscular strength, so you're working on the opposite. And then of course there's all those variations and subtleties in between. You might have a very strong part in one area of your body and a less strong, more vulnerable part in another part of your body, which I relate to a lot. So we're all working with different things. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come all the way up. Inhale, extend both legs out. Come round to face the top of your mat if you're not. And then roll down through your spine to come down onto your back. We're going to go slightly over 7, so because I want to give you a Shavasana. But let's finish the practice. So bring your feet ready for bridge. So heels in line with the hips. Start to press the heels into the floor, peeling the pelvis, middle back, upper back off the floor, shuffling your shoulders underneath your back and perhaps interlacing the fingers, pressing the hands into the floor. Lengthen the lower back so you're sending your sitting bones towards your knees. Press the backs of the arms into the floor and lift the chest. Sending your breath into the upper back. And then slowly rolling down one bone at a time. Extend your left leg out, bring your right knee in, hugging your knee in towards you. And then swap to the other side. Bring both knees in towards you. Coming in for a twist, take the arms out to the side. If you know a twist that you like and that feels good for your body, then do take that. Otherwise, if you're not sure, take both knees and feet together and let both legs drop over to the left for a twist. So try to keep your knees at either it's the height of your hips or higher. Otherwise it will tweak your lower back and we don't want that. Taking your gaze to the right. Allow the whole body now to completely let go, removing all effort. Softening every part of you, including the mind. Noticing the breath become settled and softer. If you're Ujjayi breathing, letting go of the Ujjayi breath. Come back to the center. And then legs over to the right. Taking the twist that you just took on the left side. Can you give yourself permission to let go even more? there a little part of the body that is holding on? Can you send softness to that part? Come back to the center. Shift your body into the center of your mat. If you've gone over to the side, bring the knees in for happy baby. Taking the hands around the backs of the knees and pulling them in towards the armpits. Perhaps you can take the hands around the ankles or around the outsides of the feet. Pressing the back of the pelvis to the floor. Perhaps rolling side to side if that feels soothing for you. And then stretching the legs out, bring the arms above the head. Let the legs flop, the arms flop. Moving into Shavasana now, bring the arms down. Making yourself comfortable. If you want to, of course, get a blanket, get a cover for your eyes, put socks on, put a top on. I'm going to give you 5 minutes of Shavasana, and of course you're welcome to stay longer than that. We started at 6:05, so we're going to finish at 7:05. So make yourself entirely comfortable. If you're chilly, put something on. You might want to put something under your knees, perhaps under the back of the neck. I find personally is really good for me. Becoming aware of the spine and in the very center of your body, pelvis, that central axis. Becoming aware of the back body being supported by the ground, by the earth, by Mother Earth. Softening. welcome to stay longer in Shavasana. If there's a need for you to complete your practice, then start to gently wiggle your fingers, thumbs, toes. Perhaps stretching your arms behind your head. Bringing both feet onto the floor, knees pointing up. Bringing one knee in towards you, followed by the other knee. Slowly rolling onto one side of your body. Bringing that top arm over to press up, to be seated, to complete your practice. Be comfortable in your seat now, and either cross-legged or kneel, whatever feels right for your body. Bring the palms together, resting the thumbs at the heart center, bowing your head towards your heart. Pressing the palms together, bring your awareness into the heart center, softening the breath, softening around the heart. Without lifting your head, slightly open your eyes, release both hands to the floor and feel the ground beneath your hands. And if it resonates with you, giving gratitude to Mother Earth and nature for supporting you, giving you life. We are all part of nature after all. So connecting with the ground beneath us is connecting with nature and all that we are, lifting back up. Thank you so much for being here.